Hey everyone, Nicki Traikos here of Life by Design. You may have been following my 100-day portrait project from the 100-day project that has been happening since February. This is like my 5th time at attempting this. I'm having success this time. I got prepared. I've made videos on YouTube about it. You can go ahead and search my channel. Hopefully you've been following along as I've been sharing them on Instagram. I'm going to do a little bit more of a closer look in this video so that you can look at my portraits, and I'm going to chat about them as I show you them and talk to you a little bit about what I've learned and my process, because I think it's really important as an artist to share with other artists sort of maybe what struggles you have or what you've learned along the way, because I feel like we can all relate. It connects us. When I look at another artist who shares maybe something that I've been struggling with, I feel like I'm not alone, and I feel less, I don't want to say failure, but that's the first word that came to mind. I feel less isolated for sure, but I feel less upset at maybe when something doesn't go right. Because we're so edited with social media and everything we share, I like to be more candid and share with you things that don't go well, maybe things that I don't love, because that's human. That's something that we all experience. So if everything is beautiful, and even the way that I shoot these videos, it's not highly produced. It's me and my camera in my studio, and then I edit and have snacks while I'm editing. But it's not highly produced. I don't have like a big team around me when I film these videos and even classes. I like to do them on my own. It's this intimate space that I'm sharing with you, and I really want it to be Nicki and Nicki space. So when I pull back the curtain and talk to you a little bit about stuff that didn't work, my proportions are off, you know, what I've learned along the way, that then just elevates all of our experiences, because it creates that, just that realistic kind of everyday viewpoint experience, and hopefully allows us to connect a little bit more to our own personal creative practice and artistic practice. So that may have been long-winded. That's Nicki. That's how I roll. But I'm going to flip the camera and show you up to day 72 to show you what I've been working on. I'm really excited to do that. Okay, so here's my little box where I had all of my 4x6 sheets of paper cut up, everything from watercolor to vintage paper to scrap pieces of paper, you name it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through them. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I want you to see them visually so that you can start experiencing them. I'm actually thinking of creating maybe a little bio. I'm going to put them in a sketchbook, and I thought I'd create a little bio of them just because they all have so much personality. So I'm going to maybe tell you the medium, watercolor. Watercolor as well, added a bit of color. Learning how to use just my value scale and looking at shadows and trying to be expressive in that one. Here's charcoal, really quick one. Again, another charcoal, warming up my drawing skills again. This one, nose didn't go so right, but I kind of like that it has a bit of personality. So even if the proportions aren't great, this one, I tried to seal it, and I did it in, I don't know, -10 weather outside because I spray outside. And that's what happened. But I really love the feel of this one. Now that I can go through these portraits that I've created, I will pick out ones that I love and that I want to explore more and play around with. So even the collage one, she didn't turn out exactly as I had hoped, but I did another one that I really love and will explore more of. So here again, really loose. I don't even think I started with an underdrawing. This one kept going wrong and created a bit of tension, so I just left it. And I actually think that it's interesting. It's unique, and that's the thing with these experiences, is I love how her face just comes out of, was making marks on this sheet of, this was anthropology wrapping paper. I did everything, as much variety of paper as I could. I did. I really love how she turned out. Again, anything that was kind of interesting or made me take a moment to look at the finished drawing at the end. This is an older, it was from a painting of a queen in Denmark. When I was in Denmark, I took a photo, but that was really neat to do. Anything that made me sort of stop, like I like the background of this one, maybe not necessarily the face, but I thought that was interesting. Adding a little bit of white acrylic paint to this made it feel a little bit different as well. Profiles are something that I haven't done a lot of, so I actually used the same photo reference. I just got it off Pinterest and tried it a second time. I really like how this face turned out. I love just the feel on vintage paper. It's just vintage book paper that I cut up. This is one that I shared in my last video, so I took a lot of time drawing her out first and then letting the layers of watercolor dry and settle so that I could create this really nice depth around her eyes. I really like how plump and full her lips look. So this is where I spent more time on my painting that day and my drawing. So I really had a solid drawing and a good painting session after. And then that experience made me realize how if I spent even just 10 minutes more on my drawing, that I could have a more successful drawing. So I could work out proportions and tension. So then I really loved the experience of drawing the next day. So this is where I feel like we're on day 27. This is where I feel like I really started to notice a difference in my, how quick I could draw a portrait, how quick I could get in that groove, and then what the actual drawing or painting looked like. This is my second collage attempt. I really loved it. I will definitely explore that more. This is actually my daughter. I saw her photo on my phone, so I thought, oh, let me try. And it's funny because it's someone I know, I felt like I needed to make it look like her. And there was pressure around that because I needed it to feel realistic. If you know her, you know that this looks like her. Again, it may not be exact, but having been now, we're at day 29 at this point, gave me the confidence to draw someone that I know, especially having it be my daughter. This I really love. Again, the looseness of some charcoal. I got new charcoal along the process. This was really quick, so again, you can see maybe my proportions are off. This was a great posed photo, so I might look at approaching this one again because I really love the pose of that one. Charcoal, I've been getting back into charcoal. I really love that I can use white to create some beautiful highlights. I'm working on how I can use minimal amount of color or even brush strokes to show shadow and show depth and even to highlight different areas of the face. So here I can see it was a 3/4 pose. I didn't exactly have a great drawing. I feel like the nose was a bit long. The eyes are quite spaced apart, but again, it's interesting. So it doesn't have to be a beautifully composed piece. Again, this is more abstract. I want to explore more abstract portraits as well, so I'll be looking into that. This is probably where my love for wanting to be a fashion illustrator comes out, but there are pieces that I have to figure out what to do with hair sometimes. That's definitely something that I have to work on. But there are pieces where I kind of feel like, oh, that's when I really feel like I wanted to be a fashion illustrator. And that's where it shows up in my pieces, which is cool because, again, like, who knows, right? I love, again, how abstract that is. This is watercolor pencil. Again, I think it's kind of neat playing around with different colors. So I had a bit more confidence to see if I could use color and what color does to make a drawing or painting expressive. Here's another collage piece. Didn't turn out exactly as I thought. It feels very illustrative again, but it was fun to do, and I might explore that again. So hopefully these are making you excited and maybe wanting to try portraits too. But again, I was going to talk about the paper, but that's okay. So this is just pencil, straight pencil, maybe a bit of charcoal, very posed. Actually, that's a famous person. Let me know in the comments if you can recognize who that is. Again, just working on different poses. I added the hands here because I feel like I'm really honing in on my drawing skills. It gave me the confidence to even try some hands and to add those in as well. Straight watercolor, so I didn't draw first. That's definitely something I want to explore more of. And then adding in very simple, just simple values ranges so that I can create some depth and interest to the piece, which I think is neat. And again, trying to be expressive. So I really love how this is unfinished, but purposeful. So I did that on purpose, and then just playing around with, you know, what does the image say to me? What's the emotion? Maybe, you know, what's the backstory of the portrait, which is why I think I'm going to spend 100 days afterwards writing a little bio for everyone, which is cool. And again, I love the vintage paper. This one's gessoed, so I used a bit of acrylic paint and some watercolor. This was, again, oh, I love this one. This was a neat drawing, a good perspective. I'd never done this sort of look where the person is looking up. I really love how this one was simple, but effective. So I didn't put a lot of shading or anything into it. This one gave me a hard time. I added some gesso and acrylic paint to see if I could work it. And it's fine. Again, ones that don't turn out, I don't, if I'm struggling too much, I work on it and then I kind of just let them go. This one, I wanted it to be unfinished looking, but purposeful again, and a hyper realistic eye. So I'll just even zoom in there. I think that's really cool. Again, it's a style I love. This is charcoal. I got some Conte charcoal. I really love how severe, just her hair pulled back, her features. I really loved how severe and intense this one turned out. Kind of cool. Another, again, I'm not good at profiles, so I revisited the profiles I worked on earlier. I think this one's better, but it's definitely an angle I need to work on. So this was cool. It just came out. These characters come out and they're just, again, I don't have a goal of painting someone specifically, but when this came out that day, I thought, wow, you are fierce, you are interesting, you are cool. And I was excited to see it in my pile. So yeah, really cool. Again, this one, sometimes on vintage paper, it's very smooth. So you can see where I have a little hole there. Stuff rips, stuff doesn't work out. But again, it's the whole experience of trying something new. Success or failure, right? Who cares? As long as you're having fun in the process. I'm really happy with her. This, I just wanted very simple. I wanted almost one color, and then I thought I'd bring in the light pink. I wanted to see if I could express an emotion using very few pencil lines, and I think I managed to achieve it. So I thought that was pretty cool. This is now day 53. I can't believe it. So here, again, this one started off really well, and then I lost the contour and the shape of her face. So it's kind of sideways, but I really love the color and the approach. I'm definitely doing this one again. This, I actually showed it in a live recently, but this is a good result that came out of one that was giving me a lot of tension. So that was kind of cool as well. Again, really nice and deep charcoal erasing to give a little bit of interest and personality. This one, I was struggling with it, didn't have a lot of time, and I was okay with that. She kind of feels like a ghost to me, which I thought was interesting. Again, it's just the vibe that these portraits give off that is surprising at the end when I am ready to call it done. But yeah, this one again didn't start with an underdrawing. I love the intensity and how it came out. I love just how loose and open it feels. So I'm definitely exploring that again. Here's another one, just a pencil on. This is like wrapping craft paper, which I thought was pretty cool. I love the angle. I love that it's a bit abstract in that you don't see a lot of her face, but the expression turned out really well. I'm happy with it. This was another one that I felt very much like it was a caricature, but it's cool. I love that her eyes are really wide and angular features. I enjoy doing that actually, and laying down layers and layers of watercolor. So wet on wet, wet on dry. This one, again, this 3/4 angle, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think this was a huge success, but I definitely enjoyed using my Conte chalk on vintage paper, which was cool. Here's another watercolor. I really love this kind of look and feel. This one, when it came to life, I was super excited. I love the really warm oranges that I don't normally use. And there's a little bit of an aqua blue in her eyes. I love how angular it is. And expressive it is. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with her. This is a self-portrait. I don't know how realistic it is, but again, it was an interesting exercise to try to draw from a photo of myself. This one got a little crazy. It was a little too wet on wet, but again, it's a process, right? So they're all not amazing winners, but they're fun. So this one was just from memory. I loved how she came out. I think using the Conte is definitely something I want to explore more. And that again is just on vintage paper too, which is cool. Again, the 3/4 view, I'm going to work on my proportions a little bit. I feel like sometimes the nose gets away from me, but she feels kind of like from the 1950s. Again, I have to work on hair as well, which is neat. So here I'm trying to work on different posed shots. So these are more like model-y posed images, so I can work on different perspectives. And I'm actually really happy with how she turned out. It's just, again, old, this is paper that I used to sketch on, but it's old, like newsprint. That's the word that I'm looking for. And that's pencil, and a hard pencil as well, so it's not too dark, which is kind of cool. And again, just a different pose, my 3/4 view. I'm not sure what's off exactly. I'm taking my portrait class starting this week, so I'll be excited to get some in-person instruction too, which I think is fun. So this one, I did a loose underdrawing before I added watercolor to it, and I'm really pleased. Again, I wanted to see how little marks and paint I could put down and how few layers to see if it could be an effective portrait, and I think I was successful. I'm really happy with it. Really happy with the process of it and then seeing how it turned out. And this is, again, I think it's drawing paper, just with pencil, and again, just a really unique perspective, and really loving how this one turned out too. So this is day 72. I have, I guess, 28 left to go. I am excited by this stack and will be creating a scrapbook out of these and binding them into a book. So I'll show you when that happens. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and then just looking at my process and just the variety of portraits that have come out over the last 72 days and just what I've learned from them. And hopefully it inspires you to work on something for 100 days as well, because it's been a great process for sure. So I will see you next time, and please subscribe, like, comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.